Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering creating invoices and proposals. This webinar will cover a job form overview, recommended job form settings, where to create job forms. When I say job forms, I am referring to proposals and invoices. How to create a proposal. We'll look at the copy feature versus making a document new. How to convert a proposal to an invoice, creating invoices. We'll go a little over progress billing if you have some, big projects you need to bill out in phases, and then some job form reporting so you can manage your proposals and invoices in bulk. We'll do a live Q&A at the end where you can get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into WEX FSM. First, we're just looking here at a job. So I have gone to my customer's profile page and went into job 13437. So right now, what you're seeing on screen is the inside of a job page or job folder. Each job that you have will have a proposals and financing section. Let me collapse these. You'll have a proposals and financing section and an invoices and payments section. Each job allows you to then create proposals, proposal comparisons, and invoices. Now, just as an example here, if you wanted to create a proposal, you would click New to create a proposal from scratch. Clicking Copy will allow you to see first any favorited proposals. So if you have a proposal, you know you're going to offer that to another customer in the future, you can mark it as a favorite by clicking the heart icon, and then they show up here under favorites. If I uncheck favorites, then I can see all of my proposals in my system. Also, welcome, Cindy. We have just gotten started here, but we are underway a little bit. As a reminder, we do record all of our sessions, so you will be able to watch a replay of this, but just wanted to say hello and welcome. From here, if you select a proposal to copy, it will copy everything from that previous document, add it to a new document with your new customer, and it will become unique for that new customer. So saves you some time from having to pull items from the price book and kind of build everything out. If you already have it made for a previous customer, select and it will copy over. Once you have a document created, you will be able to click on the PDF icon to see what that would look like. Here's an example of a proposal in your system. If you click the paper airplane icon, that will send this to your customer. And if you hover over, you can see a timestamp of the most recent time that a document was sent. You can update and view the statuses. So right now we can see this is an open draft. This one has been presented, and this one has been signed. Let's click into the proposal just to see what it looks like. So we'll click on the proposal itself. You will start your proposal in a build mode, and this is typically what you would see here. We're going to fully build out a proposal together in just a bit, but this is just to give you a nice overview of how it looks before we move on. So this is the build mode. You can click into present mode to then make it a little tidier. Your logo shows up top, and then all the information is here as well. We'll go ahead and save and close this. And the same is true for invoices. So you can view the PDF, send, get a timestamp, change and update statuses, and click into edit. Now, a pro tip, if you notice, this is grayed out. I can't click on it, meaning I cannot edit this document. That's because it is closed. If you have a document that is closed, you cannot edit it. If you want to edit it, change that status by clicking on the drop down and go to Open Draft. Now you can edit it. Maybe I just want to add notes for historical record to this document. I'm not changing the price or anything, but I do want to add notes. So I could go in, add my notes, come back, and then set that back to whatever it was. But it does need to be open draft to make edits. Okay, so that's just a nice little overview. We see what proposals look like. I always like to begin with the end in mind. The idea is building out your proposals and invoices. So that is a general overview. Before we get into creating our first document, I do recommend going through some job form settings and setting them to your preferences. So I'm going to show you all of the settings that I recommend looking at, and then you can do that on your own time. To begin, we will go to Settings in the top right, Jobs, and we're actually going to open up all of these. We're going to go to all of these: business details, contract terms, job preferences, job types, payment terms. If you haven't visited these pages yet, I highly recommend that you do, because each of these will hold settings and preferences for how you run your business. We're going to start with business details. This page, you just want to double check on this one that your business name is correct, that your address is correct, your time zone, your email. This, when you signed up, maybe still has your personal email versus your business email, phone number. And there is a footer if you want to add your company slogan or any, license number that you need for doing jobs. Maybe you do a lot of commercial work and they require you to have some type of number. Upload your logo here. Choose File, select your logo file, and upload. Once you do that, you will see that on your proposals and invoices. So a nice way to brand your job forms right from here. Any edits that you make, just make sure that you are hitting Save to save that. And this info that's here is what will show up on proposals and invoices. Next, let's go back to Settings, Jobs, Contract Terms. The contract terms page, this is the legal stuff. So every business is different. If you just do like very general HVAC work, maybe you're working single family home residential, you may only need some general terms. If you have all kinds of industries that you serve, maybe you do HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, you may want different terms for different uh, genres. That's up to you. But basically, you will click Create New Terms, enter the name of the terms, and if you have legal terms in another document, you can copy and paste those here, or you can type them here, and you can make these the default for proposals and or for invoices. Once you save those, as you can see an example I have here, we have proposal contract terms, which I have set to default for all proposals. And we have general terms and conditions, which I have set to default for all invoices. If I am doing a maintenance visit, however, I may want to go into my invoice and change the contract terms to my maintenance contract terms, which you'll see an example of that when we are building out our proposal. But great place to add your contract terms. Next, let's go to Settings, Jobs, Job Preferences. There's a lot of defaults in your system, and you can set your preference for those defaults. Now, we're focusing specifically on invoices and proposals today. So the job forms section is what we're focusing on. This is basically asking, do you want to show or hide the following? Location name, model numbers, unit prices, maintenance plan savings, billing address name, product number, line item amounts, and quantities. Maybe I don't want my model numbers to show because I don't want my customers to look at the model number and then look it up online and try to tell me that I'm overcharging, Uh, that's up to you, but if you want to hide any of these, you just toggle them off and then click save at the bottom. If these are all turned on, then each one of these will show on your proposals and invoices. Make sure you hit save. If you don't, it's not going to save the adjustments you've made. And if you need to make an adjustment, you just come back here, change it, and click save again. Click save, or let's go now to settings, jobs, job types. Now, job types are great for reporting because your reports in WEX FSM will give you the ability to filter by job type. Your system comes with some job types that are just general, but if you want to actually track the different types of jobs you do and be able to dive deeper into your reporting, I highly recommend you come here. You'll click Add New Job Type, put the name of what type of job is it. You can set the color. The colors that you see on the schedule page. So, like this is red. Red means service call. So as you're tagging these jobs with the job type, it will make that the color you see on the schedule page. You can also set default durations. So if I know that every time I do a maintenance visit, it's 1 hour, I may want to set the default duration to 1 hour if that's the job type I'm setting up. Once you have your job type set here, you will be able to select from this list when creating new jobs. An example, each time I do an install, I'm setting it as an install job type. 6 months from now, I want to see how much money did I make from installs last month. You'll easily be able to find that information because you have been tagging it as such with job types. Next, let's go to payment terms. So we'll go to settings, jobs, payment terms. And this is just payment terms that the amount of time your customers have to pay you. Maybe you're doing due on receipt, and most of your jobs, you do the job and then you expect payment right after. So I have due on receipt set as my default. Maybe you're doing more commercial work than anything else and you want to set your default to a net 30. That's up to you. If there is not a payment term here that you offer, you can always click Add New Payment Terms. Put in the name, how many days they have to pay, and save. Next, let's take a look at your price book. So another item I would recommend getting set up to make your proposals and your proposals and invoices easier to use is to have a nice clean price book. So we'll hover over more applications and go to price book, my price book. This is where you will see your folder organization and your price book items. I'm going to click the drop down here. And I'm not going to dive deep into how to build a price book in today's session. This is just kind of a reminder that if you want to charge people things, you'll need to pull items from your price book to build out your proposals and invoices. So setting up a price book is very important. Uh, if you want to learn more about that, you can go to the Help Center down below here, go to Video Courses and Webinars, and then from here, you can attend a live training. We do offer beginner and advanced price book sessions. But if you don't have time for that, you need to watch it in the evening. Maybe you can't show up. We do have our past webinars. So for price book, they're right here. Price book basics and price book advanced for a more instruction on how to build a price book. Same goes for maintenance plans. If you know that you want to offer maintenance plans to your customers, you can sell maintenance plans from invoices, but you do need to make sure that your maintenance plans are set up first. To do this, you'll go to More Applications, Maintenance Plans. And same thing here. We're not going to dive deep into how to build a maintenance plan program, but if you have maintenance plans, you will want to build out your offerings here as templates, and then these will be available when creating proposals and invoices. Next, and I believe this, so there's two more setup options I recommend you take a look at. We've got warranties. So we're going to go to More Applications, Price Book, Warranties. If you sell products that have warranties, you are able to click on the red plus button here and choose from a manufacturer parts warranty or a contractor labor warranty. Adding your warranty information here allows you to then add these to your price book products and add them to your invoices and proposals. But you do need to have them set up here first. And then the last sort of like admin setup settings before you start creating job forms is, oh, I just said maintenance plans. Sorry, that was my last thing. So maintenance plans, that is the last place to take a look. Okay, so going through those settings will take a little time. You do need to look. You may need to add new items and kind of build those out. But once you have those set, now it's going to make things way easier and smoother when you go to create your job forms. So let's go ahead and start creating some job forms. We're going to go to our customer, Justin Hernandez. So you can type your customer name in the search. If they are in your customer list, they'll show up below here. So I would have just clicked on Justin to bring me to Justin's customer page. And from here, if you want to create an invoice or proposal, those items are created through jobs. So you'll have your customers. This is kind of like the main umbrella. Everything lives for this customer on the customer page. Every time I create a new job, you'll see those jobs here. So we can see we have a lot of jobs. Each job has a job number. And inside of these jobs, you're able to create proposals, invoices, purchase orders, different job forms. To create a job, you can click the Create New Job Form button under Quick Actions. So just think, creating jobs is something I would want to do quick and a lot. So we have it in our Quick Actions. And when I click Create New Job Form, I have the option of creating a job with a proposal or an invoice inside of it. So if we were doing, let's say, let's say we're doing a furnace install, and I want to give my customer a proposal first, They'll approve or decline. If they approve and sign, then we can, move forward, do the job, and convert that proposal to an invoice. But we're going to start by creating a new proposal with this job. Oh, it's thinking about it. I may not have refreshed this page in a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now we are on a proposal. We are in build mode, and we're just going to start at the top and work our way down. While you're on a proposal, you can mark this proposal as a favorite by tapping the heart icon, remove it as a favorite by tapping it again. Right here, it says pricing settings. If I click on pricing settings, that will allow me to see the pricing strategy. So is this a standard job with standard pricing? Is this a maintenance plan customer and I want to give them a discount? Friends and family discount, military discount, or is this an emergency call and now I need to charge extra? So there's an upcharge for after hours. You can set your pricing strategies from more applications, price book, pricing defaults. And that's where you would set up your own pricing strategies. From here, you can also show or hide maintenance plan pricing, item quantities and prices, line item unit prices. Once you're done, click Update. Underneath that, we have a way for you to update the tax group if you need to. Maybe for this customer, it's pulling the taxes by their zip code, but I want to offer 0% tax because they are a school. Just select a new tax group rate from here. Underneath that, we have your customer information, service location, job number, job name. Proposal name, this comes in very handy when you're copying. So if you want to name this, maybe we're going to name this, furnace install proposal. If I do a furnace install in the future, I'll hit copy and it'll say furnace install proposal, and I'll know what this is and be able to select it. If you want to give credit to your technicians, click unassigned and assign a technician. Let's say that Dustin is the technician who created this, and we want to give credit to him for doing that. And we have a custom field. This is really personal preference. I do have a lot of customers who don't use this. If you need to add, work order number, your own number here, that is just a custom field to put whatever you want. Now it is time to start building out this proposal, and we're going to build that by pulling items from the price book. So we'll click Add Item, which will pull up all of our price books. Now this may look a little different per customer because you may not have some of the options. So from Pricebook, that is your integrated WEX FSM Pricebook. This is something that everyone has access to. And when you are building your own custom items manually in your Pricebook, those will show up here. If you have the third-party add-on subscription for Profit Rhino, the flat rate price book, you will have this. And this is just a large catalog of preset items. And it has, it's really nice if you use flat rate pricing. This has just a full catalog for multiple industries. It gives you the residential price and the commercial price simultaneously. It has titles, descriptions, model numbers, etc. So if you have that, you'll have this tab here. And if you're syncing to QuickBooks and you have a QuickBooks item list, that will sync up to your WEX FSM account, and you'll be able to use this for pricing. Maybe your QuickBooks item list is something that you really lean into for pricing, and that is available here. So let's add some items. you can search for items. Let's say I want to look for a furnace install. Oh, forgot the R. You do need to spell it correctly. So now I type in furnace. All of my different options for furnaces are here. Let's just choose one of these. So we'll select that one. And then I need some labor as well. So instead of typing in the search, I can also just look through my Pricebook folders. So we'll click Pricebook folders. And I know I want some general labor. So I'm going to click on general, service, and then pick the labor that makes sense for what I'm doing, maybe residential labor. Once I have all the items added, I will click Add to Items. And there we go. These now become unique. If I need to make any changes to these, I can simply click on the title, update the name, the description, the quantity, the pricing, whatever you need. Any changes I make here will not affect my main pricing in my price book. Now, here's just like a pro tip. If you don't have any items in your price book, let's say you haven't set that up yet, but you know you want to start using the system, that's okay. You can build your price book as you go with this feature. Click Add Item, click Price Book Folders, and scroll to the bottom. Right here is where you can create price book items and add them to your price book as you go. So even if I didn't have any of these folders, I didn't have any items yet, but I'm working with the customer, I need to create an item, I can click Add New Product, select a product type. We've got single part only, so parts, labor, service, multi-item group like a bundle, and a discount. Once you build out your item here and hit save, it will save to this job form, but also save in your main price book. So if you're worried about having to, build out thousands of items before you can get started, you don't have to do that. You can just build as you go through the price book on your proposals and invoices by clicking on that price book folder, new product. You can also, so that is if you want these items to be added to your main price book. Sometimes there's items you want to add, but you're not going to use them again. It's like a one-off item that you need to use. You can create a custom line item. Biggest difference here between creating an item through add item, price book folders. Here, this will add to your price book. Custom line item will not add that item to your price book. It is unique, one-off item for this job only. So we're going to click Add Custom Line Item. First, the system wants to check, is this in my price book already or not? So you would type, furnace install example part, just whatever it is. Is it in here already? You can just select it. If it's not, then you can select create custom line item blank as entered. And now we're just creating whatever we need. So, let's say this is a $100 item. If you're syncing to QuickBooks, very important that you do select an income account here. That way, when we sell this, it'll know where to sync that revenue to. And click add. So there we go. We have now added a custom line item. So this item will not go into our main price book. Okay. Let me take a look at my notes here. Okay. Oh, very good. All right, we're cruising. So scrolling down, we do have two other options here. So that everything we just did was pulling items from your price book. Now we can see here's the total that we would charge our customer. If you want to offer financing, you will need to set up financing in your system. But as long as is set up, then you can select the financing product, select which loan you want to offer your customer, and click Save. Once the customer says, yeah, let's go ahead and finance it, you can continue to apply, which will then bring you to the financing calculator. You'll determine, is this the amount they want to, ask for? Make sure the job location state is a state that you do business in, and then the plan. Start application will now take you through that process. Your customer will fill out the application. It's an instant approval, so you'll know right on the spot whether they're approved or declined. If they're approved, then you move forward with the work and you'll be able to collect that loan money in a lump sum. It will be sent to your bank account minus the dealer fee, and each loan has their own dealer fees. And, I'm not going to deep dive into financing today, but if you are interested in that, you can go to the Help Center, go to video courses and webinars, and either attend a live financing training or watch the replay. And financing is right here, offering financing. Heading back to our proposal. Oh, you know what? I wonder. We've gone past the point of no return. Let's go back to our job. And then back to our proposal. Okay, there we go. You can also add maintenance plans. So if you, same thing here, if you set up your maintenance plans, you have your templates. Now I can click add a maintenance plan, select from my list of plans. We'll set them up for a Comfort Club plan today and click save. This will add like a recommended item first. This is typically when you're talking to your customer. Hey, if you sign up for our Comfort Club plan, we'll come out twice a year and make sure your systems are good. They say yes, you click sign up now. And then you work your way through this. Once this is added, then that customer will become a maintenance plan customer in your system, and you'll be able to schedule their maintenance visits from there. But this is choosing the contract and the price, and click next. Determine, are these the service windows? We're going to come out between January and June and do the AC cleaning, between July and December and do the heat cleaning. Who are you going to contact when it's time to actually schedule those visits? That info is here. And then payment. Do you want them to pay for this when we convert this to an invoice? Today, let's do that. So we'll click on proposal. Now we can see the Comfort Club plan has been added to the total price. Okay, so we've added items from our price book. We have added a maintenance plan. We have proposal notes. If I want, these are customer facing. So, thanks for your business, or any information they may need to know about the job. Your customer will see these notes. Down below, we talked about warranties. Do I want to add any warranties from my list here? And then your terms and agreements. If I want to update new terms, if you had a furnace install terms, maybe you would want to switch to that for this job. And then a place to grab a signature. You can have them sign their name. And now we have some options. So at the bottom, you can save and close if you're not ready to present it yet. You just want to save it on file. Present, we'll put it in a present mode. Typically, present mode is if you have people coming into your office and you're going to show them on your desktop. Or present mode is very good out in the field because it makes it look nice and professional on screen. But this is present mode on desktop. If you want to get back to build mode, just click build in the top right. All right, so we are now ready to convert this to an invoice. So we will tap convert to invoice. Once this is converted to an invoice, it's taking everything from the proposal, adding it to a new invoice document. And we have some options here. So how would you like to convert to invoice? If you're just wanting, one-to-one, we're going to convert this invoice to convert this proposal to an invoice and take payment. You'll probably want total proposal amount. If you're doing something more like progress billing, which we'll look at in just a second, you would want to do as a percentage of the total amount. But for this example, we'll do total proposal amount and click convert to invoice. Everything that we did for proposals is exactly the same for invoices. There's two big differences, however. You can't offer financing on an invoice. Financing has to start on a proposal first. Then, when you convert to invoice, you can pay that invoice via the loan, but you have to offer loans on proposals. And proposals, you can't take payment on a proposal. You would need to convert that to an invoice to take payment via the invoice. Any changes or updates you need to make when it's in the invoice form, you can do that here. But we are ready to go. We're going to go ahead and scroll to the bottom, and we've got some options for taking payment. Pay Now will process through WEX FSM and send the money to your bank account. Record payment is if you are not processing through WEX FSM. So the biggest example is someone pays you in cash. You'll need to take that cash to the bank, but you want to record that that payment was taken. Or send this to your customer and they can make a payment online. And that is the same as processing. It'll process through WEX FSM, send the money to your account. For today's example, we'll go ahead and record a payment. That was just saying it hasn't been signed, which I do recommend, but it won't prevent you from moving forward. And now we're going to take a payment. Let's scroll down. We are applying a portion of this payment to the maintenance plan. And this is just telling you that that is happening. And let's say they paid with a check. Enter the check number received today, and we'll hit record payment. And there we go. So we created a proposal. We added items from our proposal. We converted it to an invoice. We paid the invoice. This job is complete. Now, I have two more sections we're going to go over before we get into our Q&A. Let's look at progress billing and then some job form reporting. For progress billing, here it is. I'm on a job. And, what is progress billing? If you want to charge in phases, typically for a very big job, a big ticket item, it costs a lot for your customer, but you're doing the job in phases over a long period of time, you can set up a payment plan, really, where you can invoice out as you finish each phase. So just an example here, we have a $40,000 job. I have a proposal that I have built out. And the way you build the proposal is important. So for this, I have built it out in phases. So each of these, I can see what we're doing per phase, and that totals $40,000. Then I will convert to invoice for each installment I want them to pay. In this example, I converted to invoice 4 times, and each time I chose 25%, which allows a $10,000 invoice. So that looks like this. click Convert to Invoice. We want to do as a percentage, we set up with the customer that they will pay 25% as we complete each phase, and there are 4 phases. Then when you hit Convert to Invoice, that creates a $10,000 invoice, which I have already done. And that is what you see here. And I even named these for myself, Progress Billing Invoice 1 through 4. Once these are paid, you can send these out as you are finishing each job or each phase and charge out that way. And that's just kind of a basic overview of progress billing. Next, let's take a look at how you can track your proposals and invoices in bulk in your system. First, go to Jobs, Proposal List, and Invoice List. Both of these are just big lists of your documents. So proposal list, here's all of my proposals in my system. Invoice list, here's all of my invoices in my system. If you're syncing to QuickBooks, the invoice list is nice because it does show you an auto sync status. So you can see if if there's any errors or things that are not ready, let's look for the not ready status. You can do your own troubleshooting here. So, this says this item's not ready. So I'll click on details and it just tells you what it wants. So this is saying a tax group is required. So we'll select the tax group and hit save. And there we go. Now it's ready to sync and it will sync on the next sync to QuickBooks. If we go to reporting, so in the main navigation, click on reporting. Some of the reports I recommend looking at for proposals and invoices are the proposals report right here in the jobs section, proposals. The receivables report in the accounting section, receivables, that's for your invoices. And then the job summary report, which is right here in jobs. The proposals report will show you your close rate. How good are you at converting a sales opportunity to an opportunity won? And this is just a great place to see your progress on that and see all of your proposals in your system. The receivables report, this is great for collections. If you're the person who is in charge of making sure people pay their bill, you can select individuals from here or select all and send out payment reminders, and it will send a reminder for them to make a payment. And it's really nice when you send out a reminder and a lot of people pay their bill all at one time. And finally, we have the job summary page. This will let you know if proposals have been signed or not, and were any invoices created, how many, and what is the total. So just a high level view of your signed proposals and invoices can be seen from this report. Okay, that is all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope that you learned something. We're going to move to our Q&A now, so get your questions ready. But before we do, I just want to say thank you so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Creating Invoices and Proposals.